you're a single member LLC or a sole proprietorship, some type of freelancer, you are possibly missing out on one of the best financial tools that you can possibly get your hand on in your entrepreneurial journey, and that's business credit cards. You may have already covered a lot of content or reviewed a lot of content or research on business credit cards, and maybe it still doesn't make sense how you can fit in or possibly qualify. Or you're not really hip to the benefits of business credit cards and you haven't even thought about it or had much conversation around it. So I'm going to cover that for you right now in this conversation. The first thing that you need to understand is that business credit cards are absolutely amazing financial tools. All credit cards really can be, to be honest. But there's some amazing benefits to business credit cards, a few of them being very powerful. Number one is, depending on how you structure yourself, if you set yourself up with some type of EIN so you incorporate yourself, business credit cards, in most cases, by most banks and lenders, will report on the EIN of that entity, meaning that that entity will start to build credit for itself, which in the longer run can be advantageous to getting access to capital under that business name. Another immediate benefit that kicks into place as soon as you get that credit card and put it to use is that it takes the pressure off of your personal credit with your business expenses. If you're a stylist, a barber, a realtor, a plumber, if you are anything you're doing, if you're selling stuff online, you're buying and selling stuff online, reselling online, whatever you are doing, freelancing, small business, single member LLC, small operation, if you use a credit card, well, number one, many of you are just using your checking account, which is the bare minimum option that you should be going with. The next thing is, some of you are smart enough to use a credit card for these expenses, but you're using your personal credit card, putting all of that pressure on your personal finances and your utilization on your personal credit report. These business credit cards in 90+% of scenarios are gonna go on the EIN of the business and not on your personal credit. So that means that you don't have to worry about running up the balances on that card and maybe needing to hold them there for 60 days or 90 days until you start to get that money back and pay it off, and running up your utilization and crashing your credit score, which can have a cascading effect on your personal finances. It really can. So that's another major benefit. The next thing is going to be credit cards just come with some really solid benefits. We're talking about the ability to earn a bunch of points and a bunch of cash back, however you decide to use it, on everyday purchases you're making already for yourself or your business. You're talking about the ability to get a lot of travel insurances and purchase protections, discounts on services you're already using, whether that's food delivery, streaming services, fitness clubs, access to hotels, discounts at hotels and hotel resort programs, airport lounges. The list goes on. Fraud protection, purchase protections, extended warranties on electronics you're already using, cell phone coverage. The list is literally almost endless, the benefits that come with a lot of these business credit cards at quality institutions. So with that having been said, the most important part of this video is, how do you fit in? How do you qualify? Let me tell you something. It's a lot more straightforward than you think. I'm not going to say easy, but it's straightforward. One of the main things you need to understand on business credit card applications, they're not expecting you to be a major business entity. What they're expecting is that you do business. That's pretty much it. So when you're filling it out, if you're a sole proprietorship, a freelancer, anything where you're not incorporated, so you don't have an EIN, you're using your social, using your personal information, this is where you want to pay attention. You're going to use pretty much all your personal information for the application, which is perfectly fine for you to do. Does not make you illegitimate at this point in time, as long as you're applying appropriately, meaning as a sole proprietorship. So if you are not incorporated, you're using your social, using your address, using your income, that's all cool. You just have to make sure it is congruent. Most people are denied for business credit card applications because their information is not congruent. It's not as much about not having a good enough credit or good enough income. That's not really the big issue. So you want to make sure that you put legitimate information that can be verified and substantiated by stuff like your credit report and any other background information they're able to pull up on you. The next thing you need to understand, the only business part that you need to be cognizant of on those applications is going to be the NAICS code, which is something that many people don't cover when they talk about these business credit card applications. They do all these walkthroughs and they don't really take the time out to explain to you how this part works, and it's a real deal breaker. Understanding what industry you're classifying yourself to do business in. NAICS code is North American Industry Classification System. That basically means you are classifying what industry you're doing business in. Very important, but not complicated. You're just gonna go to the website. If you Google NAICS code, it will bring you to a website that will help you to sort through the various industries and come down to a solid code. Every bank and lender doesn't have as broad of a set of codes as the original NAICS source does. So if you pick a code that doesn't pop up as an option when you're doing the application, don't panic. Just go back, do your research, and find the closest available NAICS codes you can to your own. Usually shouldn't be that far off in most cases, but don't panic. Just do your research or go off of what you already have and get something similar. The next thing you need to be very careful of that is business oriented, even if this is for freelancers and sole props. I'm gonna get to single member LLCs in a second. You need to be cognizant when you're answering a part about income, annual revenue for the business, monthly expenses for the business, and personal gross income. Because those are three questions you're gonna see on pretty much all of these business credit card applications. So if you're doing annual income for the business, you're gonna largely focus on whatever it is you're doing on the side or doing for business work, that income. If you're not in a situation where you have that yet, then it is reasonable to use your own income from employment as that income. That is reasonable to do. Or you can just put a minimal amount of business, annual revenue coming in at that time if you're gearing up or kind of getting started. But I want you to to understand that it's not necessarily illegal for you to put your personal income down as the income in the business, because you can put personal income in your business. It's not unethical or illegal to do. It's okay. So you can put some reasonable portion of your personal income in there, or whatever amount of business income, annual income you have coming in. The next thing you want to understand is when you're answering this annual gross income for the business, they're asking before deductions, they're asking before expenses. So that means that they're not really looking for the net, okay? They're not looking for net profit. They're looking for annual revenue. So that means the money coming in, not anything, subtracting going out, money going in. Just need to make sure you understood that. The next thing you need to understand is that you don't want to put down monthly expenses that exceed or even necessarily match the annual revenue for the business. This should be moderately common sense, to be honest. But a lot of you get a little nervous or concerned or unsure, and you don't really know. You don't want to put down the annual revenue for the business of $12,000 a year, which is $1,000 a month, but then you put $1,500 a month down in expenses. You're negative $6,000 a year, my guy or young lady, whatever the case may be. You're going in the wrong direction. You want to put a surplus of annual revenue to monthly expenses. Hopefully that's simple. Gross annual income. Read the statement diligently that they're going to present to you as a disclosure when you're putting down your annual income, because you can claim a hell of a lot more than you realize. Government benefits, public assistance, full-time, part-time income, seasonal job, money coming from another adult that's helping to put money in your pocket directly in your account or helping you to pay bills is all reasonable, legitimate, and ethical income to put down on your business credit card application. Just like any credit card application. Be legitimate, be able to verify what you're putting down. I am not telling you to commit fraud, but what I am telling you is you probably have more flexibility than you're aware of. So if you're a single member LLC, everything I said just applies. The only difference is now you need to be cognizant of business addresses, making sure you put the right EIN number down, really doubling down on that NAICS code. You need to make sure if you have a business phone number, business website, business email. Now, if you're incorporated, you need to be a little bit more serious about the information you're putting down, because you really need to have a professional email. You need to have a professional website. You need to have a professional virtual or physical address, ideally. You need to have all of this in place. Ideally, and it needs to be concurrent, like put in place already before you apply, because they're gonna check different background systems to make sure this is all aligning. Secretary of State, IRS, they're gonna check as many of these resources that they have, and some we don't know they have, to verify this. You can use a lot of your personal information if you're incorporated. It is not illegal and it's possible to get approved, but it is less attractive on the application for lenders. So keep in mind, you might want to spend a few dollars, do some research, Go to look up virtual phone numbers you can use for your business, physical or virtual addresses, and get a small, inexpensive website put together. Get an official business email, meaning your name or info@yourbusinessname.com. You understand? So like for me, it would be, JP@blueprintforprosperity.com or info@blueprintforprosperity.com, for instance. So you need to have something professional if you want the best shot, but it is possible to put your personal information down if you're incorporated. It looks more attractive if you have all of your information together. I wanted to do some clarity on this because I know there's a lot of videos out there that have covered business credit cards and stuff like that. But I am personally a small business specialist at a financial institution as well as a licensed banker. I see tons of you still using personal credit cards or even debit cards for your business purchases. And it is driving me crazy because many of you are qualified for business credit cards and don't even know it. You don't even realize it. So I'm giving you this content directly as somebody who does this for a living, not just someone who stacks it personally, which I do. I've gotten 2 business credit cards in the last 2 months. Gotten 3 total business credit cards in the last 3 months. 2 business credit cards in the last 3 months. And I did it under sole proprietorship and under an entity. So I'm telling you, not only personally from applying and getting this done, but taking applications for other individuals and small businesses daily. I'm giving you the inside game. So please take notes, rewatch this video, and go get yourself better positioned with business credit cards. Itemizes your taxes better. It itemizes your transactions. It's smoother. It's just a better option for you. In 99% of cases, business credit cards are a better bet. So all my pioneers out there, welcome back. To my new viewers, welcome in. If you want to learn more about the channel, check out the description below. If you want to support the channel with some of these great business and personal credit card options from great lenders, there are several links in the description where you can use the referral programs that I put in below that'll help you get a better approval ad and a better welcome bonus and support the channel for free at the same time. Other than that, I want y'all to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.
This is JP from Blueprint for Prosperity Network, a channel dedicated to helping you increase your net worth through relationship banking, maximizing your borrowing capacity, the proper use of life insurance, and the ownership of real estate. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm uploading content on a daily basis to help you customize your blueprint for prosperity.